Hi, I'm Brian Schrader, and you're listening to Outstanding in Your Field, powered by Pioneer Agronomy. I'm here with my co-hosts, agronomist Carl Joern and Crystal Williams.
Think of us as IT for your crops. If we know how to fix your issues, we'll tell you. And if not, we've probably got a workaround.
And if we don't, we'll find one because Mother Nature isn't like an on-off switch.
So, as we kick off this podcast, how about we learn about each other a little bit more for our listeners? So, Brian, would you share with us your history with Pioneer and in the industry, and what is your most favorite thing about being an agronomist and your least favorite thing about being an agronomist?
Sure, Crystal. I started my career with Pioneer in 2001 in Ohio. I was an agronomist over there. Over the course of my almost 25-year career now, I've had the opportunity to be an agronomist now twice, and I was a territory manager for a while. I live just north of Upland, Indiana, about an hour north of Indianapolis. And my favorite thing as an agronomist is being able to go out and walk fields with growers. And I tell lots of folks who don't know anything about agriculture that as an agronomist, I'm IT for corn and soybeans. Think about IT. What do you do if you've got a computer problem? They look at your computer. If they can fix it, they fix it. If they can't fix it, they tell you the workaround. As agronomists, we do the exact same thing with corn and soybeans. My least favorite thing as an agronomist is to walk muddy fields where I have to put my mud boots on and walk through it. I'm a pretty good sized guy. I cut a pretty big trench. That's a lot of work. And so that's my least favorite thing as an agronomist. So how about you, Crystal?
That's funny. No, yes, great comments there, Brian. So my territory is right along Interstate 88, if you know where that is in Northern Illinois, where we cut across from the Quad Cities of Iowa over to Chicago land area. And I've been an agronomist for Pioneer for 7 years. I grew up in Northern Illinois, and actually, a little fun fact about myself, I guess you could claim I have about 30 years of experience almost, or at least 25 years of experience with Pioneer because my dad became a Pioneer rep in 2000. So I have truly grown up around the Pioneer brand and absolutely loved, the summers where we would do grilling out of breakfast patties and have customers out on a picnic table going through a little crop shop with our local agronomist. And so fun to be in these shoes and be part of our Pioneer team. My family and I, we have 2 children and are in the trenches of all of the fun toddler things or maybe not so fun phase of life, but we have a couple of cows. So I joke that we have a funny farm at times. But my most favorite thing as an agronomist is truly just teaching and sharing agronomic information. And I think when I talk to people that don't have any connection to farming, it's really interesting because they never think of, oh, people go out in cornfields and actually do things out there, or it's not just part of the scenery, right? And the fact that even when I work with some and volunteer with our local FFA organizations, when I share with kids that kind of in a way, when we think about breeding pets or different animals, we're kind of our hybrids of corn and soybeans are, comparable to that, where we seek out different attributes. So, being able to share and just teach whether it be a customer or a sales rep, somebody, one little thing that they maybe didn't know about, or say this last growing season when we talked about southern rust, that was really fun to kind of teach them a little bit more about a life cycle thing that they didn't know before. My least favorite thing, darn, I should have probably thought of that a little bit more. Probably this is a very circumstantial and specific item, but both my children are born in June and July. And so probably my least favorite thing was walking through soybeans in June and July when you have to lift your legs just a little bit higher. And that gets really challenging in the third trimester. So that was probably my least favorite circumstance, or walking through pollinating corn is also not the most fun. So, yep. Carl, kicking it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Crystal. No, Carl Joern, like I said, reside in the Lafayette, Indiana area. I'm the son of a former Purdue professor in soil fertility. That's how we wound up here and close by to campus. also son of a dairy farmer from Western Wisconsin, on my mom's side of the family. So come by agriculture, honestly, despite being a subdivision kid, very much enjoy serving farmers. Been with the business since 2015, starting on the seed corn production side of things in South Central Nebraska before taking a brief stint in Kansas and Missouri supporting the commercial business. And then finally had a chance to come on back home, where my wife and I are raising a family of 3 kids. She's also from this area. Started off as a product agronomist and then had the opportunity to become a field agronomist, and have really enjoyed kind of finding this groove. Certified crop advisor, supporting those growers in Northwest Indiana historically. And then here over the last few years, also have had the chance to invade into Northeast Illinois. So it's great to, as a Chicago Bears and Cubs fan, to be able to directly support those farmers that reside on the central time zone and support those teams too. But as it relates to my favorite thing about being an agronomist, it's what we're doing in this podcast, educating folks about, fundamentals of agronomy, how you can lift that yield bar to really reach new goals, whether it's, profitability, pursuing something new, but just that education. And if that's in a room of, a couple hundred growers or a classroom of 20 preschoolers, there's nothing better than teaching people something that they don't know and how it can relate to how they can, improve and enjoy going through their day to day. The thing that I enjoy least about being an agronomist is really part of the job. It's the problem solving when you have an unsolvable problem or a problem that doesn't really have a clear-cut answer. And there's just many confounding variables that go into the troubleshooting exercise. So I like to deliver, concise information to folks that they can digest and do something with it. But when there's, it's probably this, that, and the other that contributed to what we see here, that can be an unsatisfactory experience for the farmer and also for the agronomist. We like to give you that clear-cut, well-defined answer. But in the world of agronomy, sometimes it's not that easy, and that's what makes this role so much fun, despite it being challenging as well. So this is a great pursuit. I'm very much looking forward to continuing to serve folks in this audio space, and very much looking forward to audience participation. So as y'all are listening to this little mini-sode here and thinking about how we can better serve farmers in the Eastern Corn Belt and states of Indiana, Illinois, and otherwise, please share your feedback with us, what resonates with you, what you want to learn more about, and how we can better serve you.
Carl, okay, I have to ask you really quick. Do you, and I forgot to tag this onto my little storyline, but how do you describe what an agronomist is to somebody that doesn't know what an agronomist is? Like Brian shared he was an IT for corn and soybeans. How do you describe it?
Yeah, no, thanks for asking, Crystal. I think my sons and daughter, the 6 and 4-year-old, they say it best. Daddy takes care of sick corn, and and I think, really when you translate that to, another city slicker, suburbanite, it is about like that. We're veterinarians, if you will, just on the plant side of things. We're trying to diagnose, a patient that can't speak with us. And so you're just trying to interpret, the symptoms that it's presenting. And so taking care of sick plants. How about you, Crystal?
I personally go with the plant doctor, but I think I need to adjust that a little bit, because then they just assume that I have a PhD, which I don't. So I think I like the IT avenue a little bit more as Brian's going. But no, I'm glad we're all kind of on the similar wavelength of how we explain what the heck agronomy is to those around us.
Well, and I think there's a common theme through that. If you think about everything we've said, this idea of teaching and educating and trying to provide solutions are really kind of the common theme. And I think I can speak for the rest of our colleagues. I think that's the attitude that every pioneer agronomist that I've ever had the opportunity to work beside, or the ones that we have the opportunity to interact with now, I think that same attitude comes through. I hope that our customers and our listeners get that same thing when we do the podcast, that we're trying to provide some kind of actionable information for them. Maybe we'll provide them with some things they hadn't thought about, or a way that they haven't thought about it in the past, at least, and they can take that and go. I think about the podcast a little bit personally, having been around as long as I have. This is kind of the next iteration of the old Walking Your Fields newsletter that
Yes.
agronomists took so much pride in. We, typed up articles and we put that out during the season weekly or every couple weeks. We don't do that way now. But to me, this is a really close second to that. And that's really when we sit down and do podcasts. That's always been my goal, is to have that same kind of sense of energy and importance when we talk to our guests and provide information.
1,000%. Well, we are excited to share this episode or this podcast series with you. And we look forward to having you tune along with us in the future. Thank you.
This has been another episode of Outstanding in Your Field. Like and follow our podcast wherever you are listening. We've got a new episode at least once a month. You can also find us on YouTube by following Pioneer Seeds. You can find me on Instagram at B_K_Schrader.
I'm Crystal Williams. You can contact me at crystal.williams@pioneer.com.
And I'm Carl Joern. You can follow along with me at Joern on X or on Facebook at Joern Agronomy. That's CJOERN.
That concludes this Pioneer Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more agronomy insights.